All right, guys, leadership, we're going to be talking about communication, and I absolutely love this topic because I've personally gone from a huge lack of ability to communicate properly with my staff, with a lot of people in the world, to be honest, to then being really now confident in being able to talk to people, communicate, give feedback, receive feedback. So delve into this, get ready. We're going to get some amazing results in this short video. So communication breakdown. Now, look, honestly, communication will be the death of your whole team. If you can't nail communication, if you're going to improve communication, be clear, concise, and get great results, then your team's going to struggle because you as a leader need to be on point with your communication. You need to be able to give feedback. You need to be able to receive feedback. You need to be able to lay down the fundamentals of when you want things done. Now, if you haven't done any study on managing a team or how to communicate, I really want you to invest in doing it. Now, there could be some courses out there, but I'll tell you right now, there's a whole lot of books. There's a few I'm going to mention later on. But remember this right now, communication is a skill. All right, so skills can be learned. Skills can then be passed on to others and taught. As we know, working in the fitness industry, we teach people things every single day and we learn things every day. So make sure you actually let that process in your head and don't say, oh, I'm a bad communicator, because you're not. Right now, you haven't studied it. Once you start studying it, you're going to get better. Once your communication improves, the relationship between yourself and your staff will improve as well, and you'll get better results together. So communication breakdown can be the death of your whole team, which in part can bring down your whole business. Let's talk about effective communication. Now, look, 86% of businesses fail because of poor communication. That was a Harvard study that said that. They are not being effective. They are not being clear. So let's break this down on how you should be communicating in an effective way. The first thing is you want to have deadlines. So if you're giving anyone a task, it's when you need it done by, all right? They need to really know when that task needs to be done by. So there needs to be deadlines within anything that you set for people. And then it's like, do you understand? Please show me what I want. So you literally ask them, show me what I want. Once you've described it, shown them the task, everything like that, quickly show me back what I want. And then when they do a good job. Perfect. Awesome. Do you need any help with it? Is there anything you need to know? Are you all comfortable with it? Cool. All right, they've got that. Awesome. I just want to let you know I appreciate you. Let's go get it done. Don't ever forget letting them know that you thank them for their help, that they always have your back and you appreciate it, because little things build up to big things. So always thank them. Always let them know that you appreciate the staff and the work that they're putting in. That is very basic, but that is how you communicate effectively with your staff. Giving feedback and receiving feedback, guys. Now, this is a tough one. It is honestly a hard thing to do, but it needs to be done. Because if you don't give feedback, no one gets better. And you want staff that are, willing to receive feedback. Because what? Because we all know, feedback is the breakfast of champions. That's how we get better. So here are some key tips that I've learned along my journey with managing my staff. Take them out of the normal area. Take them to a non-threatening environment, whether it's like buying them a coffee, just so you can have an open discussion. And you can always start, I just want to have a discussion, all right? Start with how they're going, because we never know what external stresses are going on in their life. If you ever start with, I feel like you're letting me down in these areas, they're going to be like, whoa, I'm actually every night fighting with my wife, and that's why I've been making it into work on time because I'm not sleeping well. And then you can talk to them about how they're going with their wife, and you can still give them that feedback, and you can say, hey, look, I understand you've got these things going on, and that's very difficult, but can you please still turn up to time on time, because it's important for our business and our staff and our members to see you early, not 3 minutes late, to make sure you're early. But let's have another coffee, or let's talk more about what's going on at home. So just always start with how they're going, how they've been, and see if there's any external stresses going on in their life. Then you can deliver something, and you can say, can I tell you what's close to my heart? And then you can deliver the feedback. Because, it will be close to your heart, because it's often your business and it's your livelihood on the line. So you can let them know how important it is to you. Can I tell you what's really important to me at the moment? Can I tell you what's going on in my head? Can I tell you what's really close to my heart? And then you deliver the feedback, that you're turning up a little bit late. And for me, our standards are better than that. And I know personally that you always crush it. And it's just been going on this month. So let's make sure we can, improve on that. Make sure you always end with positives and an outcome focus, okay? So you've got to have an outcome focus. You've got to say, you're so amazing at X, Y, Z. We just need a little lift in here, in this section is where we want to focus on. And I'm going to document that. And what do you want to do? Because we're going to check in on how you're going in a month. Okay. And then you can always document with an email so it's easy to track. So you can track the outcome, and you can also document what has happened in the last month or the last few days or whatever it may be. Because you might need that document, you might need that email, because people forget pretty quickly. They think that once they do 1 month of good work that they're suddenly a hero, when in reality you might be like, hey, I've absolutely loved this month. You've done an amazing job. But when they're asking for a pay rise or commission or whatever it may be, it's like, just so you're aware, we had to have a review last month because you weren't turning up on time. Thank them for being so open, and you can always ask if they have any feedback for you, but always thank them and literally let them know that you're proud of them for accepting feedback. Always say, look, I just want to let you know that, it's so good to know that I have someone on my team who can receive feedback like you do. I think it's a skill that you have, that you're so receptive and that you always improve from it. Because if you give them that positivity of them receiving feedback, they will then be like, yeah, I did receive that good. I am good at that. And they're not going to hold any gripes or grudges against you and be like, well, that feedback was a bit harsh or whatever it may be. So really let them know that thank them for being so honest and being an A-level player in your team. Now, guys, communicating when you're emotional, you've got to be so careful here, because if you are emotional, you're often not going to choose the words correctly and you might, regret what you say. So it's always best to wait. If you're extremely emotional, it's always best to wait. Don't let your emotion get in the way of decisions or communication with your staff. You want to write down how you feel, and you can always tell them later. If it's something little and things like that, you can give the feedback at the time, because it's great to give direct feedback at the time. But if it's going to be very emotional and it's very hard, you're going to have to take them out of the circumstance. You're going to have to leave the facility like I spoke about, right? But let them know and explain why it made you feel that way. So you don't have to be emotional when you give this feedback. It's better if you're not emotional, but you can tell them that you were at the time. I was honestly very frustrated. I was very disappointed. I went home that night and I told my wife about it, and I was honestly shattered. And you can tell them how that in a very calm and precise way. But if you were to give them that feedback dead set on the day, you might have been yelling at them. And no one's going to win over a screaming match on the gym floor in the office. You don't want ever that to happen. You don't want ever to have to come to screaming. So make sure you communicate the right time when you are emotional, okay? And make sure you let them know how you felt during that situation. All right, now the other thing that I feel like we all miss out on when we're looking at, communication with people is we don't find staff doing a good job. So make sure you communicate with your staff when they do a good job. It is so important, if they've gone above and beyond for a client, that you give them recognition. You literally tell them, and you could give them something, you could buy them something, you could post about them on your social media, whatever you want. Show them love, give them recognition. IBM had a study in the 80s, with people, that they'd actually prefer recognition over money. So it's like, we have these people working at IBM and they were more happy to receive thanks, praise, and acknowledgement in front of their peers than they were actually to receive money. So I want you guys to actually think about that. And you can realize that it's so relevant today with the amount of social media posting and things going on, that if you gave your staff a shout out online and tagged them and told them how good they are at their job and what they're doing, they're changing lives, they would be so stoked, rather than just giving them $50. So it's just something to be aware of and to look at doing that as well. And then, if you're a good leader, they'll want that tick of approval. So they'll be looking up to you and they'll want to crush it for you. So when you give them that tick, it is just like they're going to be so stoked and so happy that you've given them that recognition. And you've got to remember as well that it is your business, and not all the people working for you are going to be as driven as you. You want people to buy in on your vision, like I've spoken about. But if they do something that's so good, you have to reward their behavior. It sounds stupid, but treat them like that dog. When you pat the dog for doing something good, you let them know that they've done something amazing and pat them, which is giving them something or giving that recognition, and that is when they're going to continue to do it. Final notes, guys. Look, if it's something small, if it's something that you should address, you need to attack. You need to not attack. You need to tell them at the point in time. Tell them what it is, so you don't let things boil over. Because there's nothing worse than waiting a week or 2 weeks and then coming to them going, hey, yeah, and by the way, you did this, and on Wednesday you turned up late, and then on last week, Thursday, I heard you use some words with a client, but I wasn't sure exactly what it says, but I knew it was negative. Don't ever do that. Just address the issues in a nice, calm way at the point in time. So you might just ask them about the situation, what just happened then and why it happened. And do you want to maybe talk about how we could improve that or what we could have done better? So you're always reflecting on what's just happened with them, and then you can give them feedback as well. Guys, always document it if it's anything large or important. If it's just a quick conversation, obviously just give the feedback and move on. But if it's large, you have to document it. So always pop it in an email, make sure they're aware of it, because if it comes to a point where you have to let them go, it's great that you've documented 3 or 4 incidents that isn't acceptable within your facility, and that's why they're being let go. Catch them doing good, like I just said about, really pump them up when they are. Always have clear communication. So you need the expectations, you need the standards, you need the tasks, and you need them to know everything. And then you're going to ask them, quickly show me right now. So they show you, you say, perfect, you need any help? No, great, let's go ahead and do it. I can't wait to see it on this day. Learn from your lessons as a leader, guys. We know it's very difficult to have these conversations, but you have to have them. If you're going to grow, if you're going to improve as a leader, you need to start having these conversations today. You need to start giving feedback, and you need to start working on yourself too. Some books. Really good one that I like is Crucial Conversations. If you're looking at having conversations with people, framing conversations, great book. If you're just looking for, conversations, but to be liked, to be a good leader as well, I really love this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've read it a few times and it's amazing. Guys, that is communication and improving your leadership within communication.